Hey everyone, you're home with Tools with James. Welcome back to the Fix Your Lawn series. Look, it's been about 2 weeks since we put down our bow and arrow herbicide treatment in our soil wetting. Let's check out the lawn and see how we've gone.
Well, okay, so starting with the front lawn, and we had success. So all the broadleaf weeds have been knocked out. It's left the kikuyu alone, and it's left the winter grasses alone. You'll see those few dark patches in the lawn there. For the last 2 weeks, I haven't irrigated, and it hasn't rained. So this is all just through sitting there doing nothing. Essentially, it's been hard to watch it the way it is, but we're going to get the result really quickly with the treatment we're going to do today. You can see there it stayed really quite green, just around the edges where I suppose it gets a bit of runoff water, and it's very, very dry in the middle, like extremely dry. A lot of that is thatch, and we'll get pulled out with the Scarifying that we're going to do today. But yeah, it's looking pretty ugly, but no weeds. So I'm going to take that for the win. And you can see here just around the water meter here, where it is getting moisture, just look how good it's going to bounce back. The middle lawn gets a bit more shade. Those trees now have got some leaves in them, but you can see the weeds there that are left, they are completely dead. So we've had some really, really good success. The trees are still making a real mess of things, but we should be on the back of the end of that now. Now moving on to the back lawn. So same scenario here. I did just give this a bit of a water this morning, this one, tell you the truth. But it is in good nick. No weeds in this lawn either. And it's primed, ready for the treatments we're going to do today. And you'll see there that I did fix that edge. I put a strip of concrete in to give me something to edge to, and just put some rocks, river rocks in there, and yeah, we're all set to go to rip into what we're going to do today. So let's move on.
Okay, so we've got a bit to do today. So the plan is we're going to edge the lawn, we're going to mow the lawn, we're going to give it a very, very light Scarify, which I'll take you through. And then we're going to actually do a little bit of overseeding, and we'll give it a bit of a feed as well. So big day, let's start off with that mow. Let's hook straight into it. All right, we've given the lawn a bit of a mow. Went at about 40 mil, not super low or anything like that, just under a couple of inches. Not a full renovation this season. If you do want to see a full reno video, I'll pop one in the top right that I've done in the past. But now we're going to move on to getting the thatch out of this lawn and into the Scarifier. So what this is it's basically a tool that's got vertical blades that cuts in vertically to the grass and removes the runners, breaks them all up, and really helps agitate the surface of the soil as well, to help the oxygen get into the soil and into the plant and really make for a much healthier lawn. And if your lawn has got a lot of thatch, you'll probably notice underfoot that it feels really spongy and can be really hard to push your mower across. So we're going to give this a really light Scarify. The other benefit that I'll get is it will agitate the soil up just that little bit, and because I'm going to oversow today, it'll really help that seed get into the soil nice and easy. So that's what we're going to do. I'll give you a bit of a look at this Scarifying. Let's go get it done. Might look like I'm ruining my lawn, but I can assure you, do not skip this step. Your lawn will come up absolutely brilliant. You'll be able to mow it lower, it'll feel better underfoot, it'll look a lot better. And this is kind of that 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but I can assure you, once you get this done, you're going to reap the rewards. Let's keep going. Well, there you go, the Scarifying's done, and that was just one pass. You can see quite a bit has come out. And typically if I was doing a full reno, I'd go crisscross, diagonal, the whole lot. But as we're just doing a light one this year, just going to do the one pass. But just a couple of things to watch out for when you are using your scarifier is because those vertical blades do cut vertically, watch out for your sprinkler systems, your concrete, your water meter and stuff. It will do some damage, so just something to be aware of. I don't use a catcher on the scarifier because it fills up far too quickly. You can see how much come off here. The mower's got a much bigger catcher on it. So now I'm just going to buzz over with the mower, pick up all this thatch, and we'll move on to the next step. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, the next thing we want to have a quick look at is our irrigation system. We want it in top-notch condition, particularly because we're going to oversow with seed and we're going to be using it quite a lot. You can see here, well, you can't see it, that my sprinklers are absolutely, completely overgrown. So I'm just going to take some scissors, and without irrigation, you will not have a lawn. It is the #1 factor to give you a good lawn. So I'm just going to dig these out. You can see here. And of course, all the roots and runners and everything love to bound up around the sprinkler because they're getting that little bit of extra moisture in there. So we're just going to go around, got the blower here. Okay, so we've had a pretty productive day. So far we've mowed the lawn, we've scarified the lawn, we've cleaned up our watering system, we make sure it works. Now I'm going to take the opportunity to fill up some of the low patches in my lawn. So in the centre section there, I've got where the cars have driven over it. I've got somewhere that we've had water runoff. I'm going to address that. I'm going to fix that with some top dress soil. Now I've bought this by the bag. Certainly an expensive way to buy it, but I don't have a lot to patch up. So if you do have a lot of areas that you've got to fill in, I would recommend getting it by the half metre or by the metre from your landscape supplier. But we're going to do this. We're going to flick it out across the surface where we're low, and we're going to hit it with the landscape rake. So let's go and do that. So I'm going to give you a bit of an example here of what I mean. I've got this low patch here in the centre, and I don't know, the water must just pool here a bit, and it always bugs me, but we're just going to flick this top dress out like so. So, we've got a couple of shovel loads. I don't need much, but it's just enough. I regularly mow with the cylinder mower, and I do occasionally notice that it bounces around a little bit in this centre patch, so patch it up. So we're just going to flick it out like so. That'll probably be enough, to be honest. And then I've got my El Cheapo landscape rake here. We're just going to run it back and forward like so. And that's pretty much it. And you'll feel it'll get nice and flat. And as I said, I only got a small amount to do here. But if you had a large amount, you know, this could be quite a bit of work, but that there should be just enough to bring me up to level. Let's get the rest of it. So now it's time to oversow the lawn. I'm going to show you the lawn seed that I've bought. I actually got this from McKay's grass seeds. This is a regenerative perennial ryegrass. And the reason I bought it from these guys is that all the ones in the hardware stores local, you've got to be careful what you're getting. Often you'll buy seed that you think is something, but it's only got a very small amount in it. So often they'll mix other grasses to help get it going. I don't want to do that. I just wanted straight ryegrass, hence why I bought it off McKay's. And this is meant to regenerate, so it'll help self-repair itself, which is interesting. I haven't tried this one before. The other thing you need is seed starter, and how good is this one? I got a broken packet there from the local Bunnings, $9 half price. just a starter, lawn fertiliser, easy. We're going to mix in, and we're going to mix that in the wheelbarrow. The other thing you're going to need is your seed spreader, check, so we've got that. And then I'm going to water it in really, really well using my HoseLink mixer. You can get these on the HoseLink website, but you can also buy, I think, the Holman brand one from your hardware stores. I think they call it a quick mix. You can get them for about 20 bucks. This one was more like 40, but very good. And then I buy these by the drum. I've got Sea Sol for soil, and then I've got the Power Feed Sea Sol. So I'm going to run a bottle of each one of these on the front lawn and the back lawn, and then we're going to go on to giving it a proper irrigation with our irrigation system. So let's get to seeding. We're just going to mix all these in the barrow. I can tell you, the trusty old scissors have come in handy today. Now, I'm going to use a whole lot, so I'm going to dump, this is a 5 kilo bag of seed. I'm going to do 2.5 kilos in the front, and I'm going to do 2.5 kilos in the back. And look, there's a lot of guides for oversowing your lawn and how much you need. I'm actually going to just go overkill on this. This is a cooler season grass, so we've still got quite a bit of cool weather ahead before we hit the really warm stuff. And I want the lawn to go green. I don't want to have to wait till, you know, the middle of summer for my kikuyu to really kick in. So hence why I've gone this one, but barrow's good for this. We'll just mix it in. Probably could have done with a little bit more starter, but I am putting a lot of sea salt and stuff down, so it'll have plenty of food. And I do plan on feeding this pretty regularly. So we just mix it in like so. Well, there we go, a big day in the books, and always love spring and getting out in the garden for the first time for the year. Now onto the irrigation. So because we've put new seed down, we want to keep that seed moist at all times, nice and damp. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have my sprinkler system come on at 8 AM, 1 PM and 4 PM. And I'll let it run for around 5 minutes, just enough to keep that soil nice and damp. You don't want it to dry out because then you'll lose the strike rate of your seed. For now, I'm going to give it a really good water. I'm going to give it about 15 minutes each section. Water it in nice and deep for now. And we're not going to be watering overnight. You don't want the roots sitting there wet overnight because you can get some rot. So we're just going to do it through the day. It should take around 10 days for that seed to really strike up and start to look good. So we'll meet back in a couple of weeks and check in on progress, and we'll go on to the next steps then. And if you have any questions, because there is a lot of content here, if there's any questions throughout, just drop them in the comments below. And I'll be sure to get back to you and help you out where I can. You've been Home on the Tools with James. Thanks heaps for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.